Today on Trifig, a figure gets married, Emilia gets wed, and is this the best Emilia figure out there? Find out.
We had something. Tonight I'll be guessing, but I don't really have a case. You don't have to mention, you just like their attention. It's written all over your face. I don't wanna play the quiet type.
There comes a time when you realize a character isn't being treated right, neglected when it comes to releases, leaving fans starving for more. But what if instead of a bunch of okay figures, you got a handful of some of the best the industry could produce? While she may not have the most figures out there, her figures will never stop proving who is absolutely, and without a doubt, the real best girl.
I'm not gonna defend my beating heart.
Alright, enough with the showy stuff. This is Emilia Wedding Dress version by Phat, a 1/7 scale figure sculpted by Itandi featuring paintwork by Noah. Emilia here completes the trio set started by Ram and Ram, and while these two got the lingerie style wedding finish, oh my, Emilia here keeps it classy with a short white wedding dress styled after her traditional outfit, but throws in a garter belt tied with her little pink bows on her thigh highs for that ultra super sexy finish. And if you follow those ties up, you'll find yourself face to face with a wonderfully sculpted caboose, displaying white underwear finished with similar patterns as the image on her base. Seriously, if you get a chance, check that out, cause damn. Overall, the sculpt is top notch, with little negatives, which is to be expected of Itandi, who also worked on Ram and Ram's versions, as well as the overly fun and cute 110 Rin for Bakuwa. Emilia's got this kind of prancing pose and excited facial expression that, just like every figure ever, received the most attention to detail. Except for my eyes! My eyes! Emilia's also got a real sense of movement through the pose. Her bent arms keeping her hair back and holding her bouquet, her legs mid-step and turning waist and always thick flowing hair really accentuate the excitement and beauty of her appearance. Her hands are done with a soft grace and really present a light touch and grab to their looks and lead to the sleeves featuring the tiniest detailed pearls at the edge. Oh, and let's not forget the ring on her finger, proving that this is some post-ceremony excitement happening here. The dress is wonderfully done, featuring some uber cute bow accents on her thigh highs and shoes. There's also the always present collar and brooch Emilia is known for too. The dress also shows some excellent tugging stretchers below her chest, giving a hint of elastic material in her gown. The flow of her gown really works with her pose, and while we're on the topic of tugs, Phat really went with a fully done and mature Emilia here. The focus on her rear is really present with her back arched and garters leading the eye, and yeah, it's clear where the focus on this gown was, because I don't remember Emilia being that, you know. Alright, now let's talk negatives, because as perfect as Emilia is, I mean, just look at that hair. How the f*** did they manage that? There are a couple issues I have. 1. The bumpy finish. Right around her stomach, her dress has this bumpy texture. And I'm not talking about the tugs, I'm talking about the actual material just feels clumped together and unfinished. The light really shows it off, and it's not a big issue, it's just annoying when noticed. 2. The translucent parts. Her veil and second dress layer just look and feel way too plasticky. And while this seems to be a common problem with figures, we've seen it before with Alters Maki, it seems to be an issue most seen with price figures like this Ram. But when a $100 plus figure has the same approach as a sub $20 figure, something's amiss. Emilia's paintwork was done by Noah, who was responsible for Ram's Halloween version figure, which I'm dying to get my hands on right now, as well as some pretty freaking amazing 18 plus figures that I cannot show on this channel. Emilia's finish is one of my favorites among my collection. She has this wonderfully pastel and desaturated approach that's reminiscent of film photos. It's just pretty to look at and fits so well with this style of figure. Her skin is lively with pinks and highlights, yet it's not overly bright or blinding. Even the bouquet is similar, allowing all the colors to mix together in harmony. The darker purple finishes on her thigh highs guide the eyes up to experience the figure as a whole, not solely focus on one bit. This is why Emilia's midriff not being exposed like Remen Ram's figures is absolutely perfect. You're not drawn to or distracted by some exposed skin or belly button, but instead allowed to see her as a whole, and truly see that this is one dope-ass figure. That is, of course, until you start to flip her forward and get just a little distracted.
Hey!
Sorry. My only main issue with the paintwork was this strange yellowing highlight on her thigh highs. Her dress matches highlights just fine and her hair features some stellar gradients, but this strange yellow tint on her legs makes them look old, used, and even a little dirty. And for a figure that seems to be celebrating a significant moment, I find it odd that her legs would have such a coloring. It's not entirely pleasant, and I don't know if it was intended or a QC error, but it's easily noticeable and frankly a little disappointing. Yes. Okay, let's get the obvious out of the way. The box is pointless, boring, and whoever designed it deserves to have constant jury summons delivered to their addresses. Then there's the base, which is about as interesting as a birthmark in a sea of freckles on a tomato. And yes, its pattern may allude to something truly magical. It's just overall quite dull, and for a wedding figure, Phat could have really gone for a more unique approach. I mean, just look at some of the Mika figures. You've got textured bases styled to match, and my favorite, mirrored ones. What about a cobblestone floor, a carpet to show she's walking down the aisle, or even a rose archway, or a giant bouquet base? If we're paying big money for a figure, why not just go all the way? Phat's Emilia Wedding version comes in around $150 before shipping, and excluding the firstborn price tag of Emilia Crystal Dress version, not many of her figures get close to or surpass the $150 mark, and that's a significant price to pay when deciding on your next purchase. So let's say you had $150 to spend on a new Emilia. Well, at the moment you've got 3 competitors. This girl, Birthday Emilia, as cute as it is, B-Day Emilia does not belong in this price tier. Looking at others in this price range, GSC made a huge mistake pricing her so high, and so therefore, she's out. And frankly, the main threat to your decision. Alpha Omega's purely epic, fantastic, perfect in every way Emilia figure. But deciding between Phat and Alpha Omega's Emilia figures is a real big challenge. So I bought both. So when your figure's box comes in a protective box itself, you know you're in for something epic, and that's exactly what you get of Alpha Omega. We get this dramatic, movie poster, Michelangelo Sistine Chapel-esque pose and finish, and dear God, the base is even freaking brilliant. She's also a lot more reflective of the anime. She's got smaller, more balanced body parts. Her hair is pure silvery white and shines with some of the best translucent finishes I've seen in a good time. Then again, let's look at who we're dealing with here. After all, Alpha Omega is a collab between Alter and Mega House, and that right there means serious business. Not to say that Phat's Emilia figure isn't great. With Phat, we get a more mature, adult, realistic, and endowed approach to the half-elf beauty. All in all, it's a tough decision to make and really depends on whether or not you're more akin to the anime styling of figures or fantasized versions that get released. So with that said, which should you buy? Do you spend $150 on a 3D movie poster or a dream come true? The answer, my fellow collectors, is a simple one. And that answer is, of course, the $300 Crystal Dress Emilia, because damn, look at that girl! Now, I don't normally give scores on this channel, but in case you're stuck on deciding, there you go. Now, I should also mention, if viewer did contact me saying that they had received one of these figures, and unfortunately it was errored. It had a few blemishes on the face, and unfortunately they did have to return her. I wouldn't let this stop you from pulling the trigger on Emilia here, She's just too amazing a figure to pass up on, and seriously, if you have the space on your display or the cash, I'd say get her right now, because she's such an amazingly perfect figure that I could never see myself selling her, and so therefore, she's gained a spot in my display for years and years to come. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Will you be picking up Phat's wedding version of Emilia right here, or are you going to save up for that crazy crystal dress version? Did I skip an Emilia figure that's better than all of these? Let me know down below and we'll take a look at them in the future. But until next time, remember, buy responsibly, keep collecting, and we'll see you right here on Traffic. Bye.